Things uploaded. All right, here we go.
Powered by Riverside.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome into a brand new episode of the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Codd, this week. Alongside of me, as always, my co-host, Jake Belch. What's up, Jake?
How you doing, man?
Doing good, doing good. Well, another track down, another broadcast partner completely done with the season. We're done with TNT. Lots to talk about this week. A lot to talk about. Massive winless streak ends this week at the Brickyard. In my opinion, Adam Alexander said it best in the booth, kind of a popular victory within the garage. I think that the driver showed the respect of a very popular victory this past week in Bubba Wallace winning. We're going to be talking a lot about Bubba Wallace and more so on the impact of 23XI winning this race as an open charter this week. Basically a big fuck you to NASCAR. I loved it.
Oh yeah.
I could not complain about that. But Jake, before we start tonight's show, I got to do a public service announcement, and that is to a lot of people. And we kind of saw this all coming when Bubba won this race, right? And Bubba Wallace is probably the most polarizing driver in the garage. Unfortunately, it just comes with the nature of everything that he's kind of dealt with back in 2020, the Black Lives Matter, all that type of stuff. Listen, if you do not like Bubba Wallace, that's acceptable. But do not, for the love of God, go on any Facebook page and call him the N-word. It is totally unacceptable, intolerable, and it's complete utter bullshit. And I'm going to be honest with you. I am 6'3", 235 pounds, full of muscle. If I see you at the track calling him the N-word, I'm going to punch you in the face. I don't care.
Yeah.
I really don't care. And that's my public service announcement. Totally unacceptable from some fans this past week on the way that they acted. Again, I understand if you don't like Bubba Wallace as a driver, you think he's a little overrated. Okay, that's fine. Then we can have that conversation. But to call him the N-word as soon as he starts the episode, or as soon as he starts winning the race, totally unacceptable. Jake, it was disgusting this past week. Some of these people on Facebook, completely disgusting.
Couldn't disagree. It's like you said. You like the guy or not? The guy won the race. You don't bring a race into this, or doesn't matter if you're black, white, purple, green. I don't give a shit what you are. You don't ever talk about somebody like that and use derogatory terms in any aspect. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't care if you don't like him. I don't care if you hate him. You don't talk about somebody like that. It's unacceptable, and it's not a good look for NASCAR fans.
Not at all.
And it makes us all look like that type of people. And I won't accept it. I know you won't accept it. And
no.
That's the type of shit that's the type of crap that you see on NASCAR pages, like you're saying and I saw it as well. Those type of people need to be banned and need to be blasted.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. I completely agree with you on that. And I think the one thing is like you said, it comes back down to this fan base, right? We are trying to grow as a sport. We are trying to grow a fan base. We are trying to bring and encourage people to continue watching this sport. The first thing that you do, go on a Facebook page, call him the N-word, and then all of a sudden you sit there and you're like, that's acceptable? There's a lot of people of all different cultures. And we were at Pocono a month ago. There was a lot of people of different cultures up at Pocono to watch that race. Totally unacceptable, man. Totally unacceptable. I got to give a lot of credit to, I saw a few of them in NASCAR Uncensored, the Facebook page. They did a great job eliminating, the admins did a tremendous job eliminating that shit right away. They did. They were like, nope, gone, done. So again, you like them, or if you don't like them, that's fine. Do not bring up the N-word at all. Totally unacceptable. It's the 21st century. Knock it the hell off. I'm sorry. That riled me up when I saw some of the comments this past week. Like I told you, we were coming out blasting on tonight's show. We told you it was going to be a fun show. So, anyways, again, if you're tuning us live on Facebook or YouTube, as we usually do every single week, Blown Engine chat line wide open for you. Again, if you have any comments, questions, we got great questions last week. Any comments, all that type of stuff, feel free to go into your chat on YouTube or Facebook. It'll pop up on our portal. We'll definitely air your question on while we're live, and we'll respond to your questions. So, Jake, as we usually do, first things first, let's do sponsorship updates, fast headliners, courtesy of jski.com. First one up this week. TNT Sports TV ratings finished slightly lower than Amazon Prime. I'm sure that there's a lot of people out there upset about that because they all complained about Amazon Prime. But TNT did finish slightly below Amazon Prime, and I'm going to come back to that to you as a question. Next update this week. NASCAR won't return to Mexico City after an inaugural date in 2025, but there is expected to be a return to Chicagoland Speedway. So what is old could possibly be new again. We talked a little bit about that last week. Is that going to be the 4th of July race, or what is going to be the 4th of July race? Because we know San Diego is going to be on Father's Day. Next headliner this week. Hulu's King of the Hill collaborates with Joey Gase for a double duty in-show themed cars at Iowa. Yes, if you're a big King of the Hill fan, it is back on Hulu. Sponsorship will be on Joey Gase's car. And 2 more updates. The next one, we're going to skip the one. We'll come back to that. New York Racing partners with Syracuse Football, NIL, for the Watkins Glen race. So the 44 car will be having Syracuse Football as the advertisement, kind of linked in with the NIL. But the final update this week, folks, Austin Hill suspended from Iowa race following the Indianapolis wreck of Eric Almirola in the Xfinity Series. Jake, I don't know if you saw what happened.
I did not watch any Xfinity race this weekend.
I'm going to be honest with you. As soon as I saw it, I said, get that asshole off the track in a week. Literally. I mean, so in the Xfinity race, for the folks that were watching it, Eric Almirola kind of passed Austin Hill, or bumped him out of the way a little bit, got around Austin Hill. Austin Hill is claiming that, something went wrong with the car. Basically left hooked Eric Almirola. Eric Almirola was spun right into the wall and basically wrecked. I like NASCAR's consistency with this. They have shown over the course of time that they were definitely not going to screw around with right or left hooking a driver. And I think that they stand pat on that with Austin Hill this past week. I know a lot of fans were calling for the suspension. I think that this is the right move by NASCAR. You can hear Austin Hill sit there and say, "Wow, it wasn't really intent." Come on, dude. You throw temper tantrums every single week in the Xfinity Series. That's what you are. You're a career Xfinity. Now, granted, that's a lot better than me. I'm on a podcast. A lot better than me. But at the same time, you cannot right or left hook a driver and intentionally wreck them. It all started kind of at Vegas back in 2022 with Bubba Wallace and Kyle Larson, right? Yeah. And NASCAR has been consistent over the course of time. You've seen Chase Elliott get suspended from it. You've seen Austin Hill now get suspended from it. It's intolerable, and you can definitely hurt a driver by doing that nonsense. I don't care if the guy passes you. Just let it happen. Yeah. Regain yourself and get back around them. I was happy to see NASCAR's consistency there.
Oh, that's good. I'm happy they're living up to because they were big on living up to their rules. So,
absolutely. So again, all fast headliners courtesy of jski.com. Follow them on Facebook, X, or by web at www.jski.com. So Jake, like I was saying to you, I was going to go back to that question. I kind of brought it up on our Facebook page at the Broken Wheel Bearing podcast I think it was Sunday night, maybe Monday. We've now gone through 3 television partners in the 2025 season. We've seen Fox, we've seen Prime, we've seen TNT. Prime to me was definitely light years ahead of what we saw out of the other 2. But where would you rank TNT in your mind?
TNT is a close second for sure. I enjoyed it. I especially liked it. I liked it this week. I actually sat down and watched the whole thing. But no, it's not Prime, but it's a close second. For sure. I think Fox has got a lot of shit that they could be sitting back looking on like, wow, we're boring. Because you are. But no, TNT did really well. I think they did a great job for what they had and the people that they had. But I'm obviously, I'm glad to hear Dale Jr.'s voice. I want to hear his voice every Sunday. So, no, yeah. So nothing negative I can think about it. Like I said, I only really sat down and watched the whole thing this Sunday, but I think they did a good job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say probably a B plus. B plus effort on TNT. I thought Prime came out for me. Prime came out and was just light years ahead of
Oh
anything
yeah,
I've ever seen. I thought Prime was fantastic. I love the analytics behind everything. I did like the nonstop commercials, and I get it. TNT's cable television, you're gonna have to have commercials. I get that, but at the same time, I think TNT, in regards to why I gave it a B plus, is again the announcers were incredible. The booth was great. Adam Alexander, Dale Jr., Steve Letarte. You can never go wrong with them, right? That was an incredible booth. I thought the pit reporters were incredible with Alan Cavanna, Marty Snyder, and Danielle Trotta. I thought they did a fantastic job. Like I said, nothing wrong with the announcing and all that type of stuff. I was not a fan. I thought they would be a little bit more analytical, like what we saw with Prime, personally, and especially with the booth basically just transferring from Prime to TNT.
yeah.
Now, going back to your Fox point, totally agree with you. Fox, to me, I have to say, they are probably in hot water and in somewhat trouble. They're going to need to, after what they saw what Prime did, what they saw with TNT, they're going to have to go back to the drawing board and basically be like, yes, we can't be cartoonish anymore. We can't. This is too much. This is too smart of a fan base for us to continue screwing around with this type of stuff. The cartoon characters of the drivers' portraits, kind of stupid. Get rid of them. Larry McReynolds, yeah, you were analytical back in 1999. You're not anymore. Steve Letarte's much better than you'll ever be with analytics. And to be honest with you, I get why they have Clint Boyer. They want the energy, the excitement, and all that type of stuff. But you know what, Clint? Sometimes the show's not about you. The show's about the drivers. What are the drivers thinking? You were a driver at one point, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like, listen, I love drinking beer. I love it. I love partying. I do. But at the same time, I don't want that in my booth.
Yeah.
I don't. And that's what Clint Boyer is. He's the fraternity dude.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, I don't need that. I need smart, intelligent NASCAR. And that's where Fox, to me, needs to get better. They do. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Mike Joy's a saint of the sport. Mike Joy is definitely on the Mount Rushmore of broadcasters of all time in NASCAR. Mike Joy's not going to be around for much longer. He's just not. He's in his late 70s at this point. So if I'm Fox, I'm sitting there looking at the other two broadcast partners, and I gotta go, shit. I mean, first of all, we were behind NBC for so many years, but now it's like, damn. Now we're behind Prime, and not just Prime, we're also behind TNT. So again, if you're listening to us live, we want to hear your thoughts. What would you give Amazon? Not Amazon Prime, excuse me. What would you give TNT as a grade? We want to hear from you.
I mean, another person that I would say that on Fox that I actually personally love listening to and hearing when she talks is Jamie Little.
I think Jamie Little is good.
I like her.
Good. Yeah. I think
and
Josh. Go ahead.
My fiance is a huge NASCAR fan. When she hears a female involved, like it grasps. And you go to a NASCAR race, there's a lot of females out there.
There is.
And I love Jamie Little. Put Jamie Little on Prime. Prime's getting every race during the season, brother.
I would love to see Prime. Personally, I would love to see Prime have every race, but I know we have some fans that would definitely just literally go ballistic if that happened. But at the same time, I agree with you. I think Fox has some talent. Like I said, Mike Joy is still
Mike Joy's good.
Still a great pioneer of the sport, great broadcaster. But for me, like I said, they have great talent. They got Josh Sims in the pit road. They got Jamie Little in the pit road. They have some good names. It just feels so disorganized compared to what we saw.
I don't need to hear Kevin Harvick and Clint Boyer bullshit about their week. I don't care.
I don't disagree with you on that one. But yeah, for me, I would say TNT B plus, definitely a little bit below Amazon Prime, but they were just right there. And plus, I think the cool thing that we saw this year, and I know some fans didn't care for it, but it definitely kept the interest in the sport. The in-season tournament. TNT had the whole in-season tournament. They had all 5 races. Personally, for me, I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. Now, granted, it is the championship matchup of Ty Dillon and Ty Gibbs. Your 21st place driver winning the tournament was kind of silly, in my opinion. But at the same time, it's the name of the game, right?
Yep.
So it was very odd, though. Like, you had Bubba win the race,
really
and then
weird.
They had Bubba win the race, and then they had Ty Gibbs in like the garage area, being like, congratulations on winning the in-season tournament. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot that was going on at this point because you had two drivers who were running 20th in the point or in the race the whole time, battling out for this in-season tournament. So,
but TNT didn't forget about it.
They didn't, and
if that was on Fox, I feel like it just would have. I think it would have been talked about, but I think it just would have been. They're in 20th place. We're not really worried about them.
Oh yeah, if it was on Fox, they would have definitely been like, "Oh yeah, we have this tournament going on." Like they would have completely been like, "Well, now let's go to 5th place." You know, like they would have done something stupid. Yep. So I'm glad. I am glad that they did keep up with it. You know, the whole entire time, even though some of the top drivers weren't in it and all that type of stuff. So. Yeah, like I said, TNT B+ in my opinion. But Jake, one of the headliners I read this week, Mexico City is going to be out of the 2026 schedule, and I think that some fans are happy about that. Some fans might be disappointed because I think a lot of people like the international, like trying to reach internationally, which I agree with. I think we should. But at the same time, I think the biggest question is what track's going to replace Mexico City, and a lot of people and a lot of reports are indicating that Chicagoland might be the track that might replace Mexico City. So our article this week is from Jordan Bianchi of The Athletic through the Daily Herald, of the Chicago news source. Titled, NASCAR race expected to return to Joliet, Illinois, which is home of Chicagoland Speedway. NASCAR's Premier Cup Series will not return to Mexico City next year, leaving a spot on its 2026 schedule that is expected to be filled by the addition of a race at Chicagoland Speedway, multiple sources briefed on the league's plans told The Athletic. Not going back to Mexico City leaves NASCAR without an International Cup race in 2026, as the logistics of getting the series to Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez Circuit in Mexico's capital, along with finding a date that works with NASCAR. The teams and the track proved challenging. Needing a replacement for Mexico City on its 38-race schedule, 36 points races, 2 expeditions, NASCAR is now solidifying plans to return to Chicagoland, the 1.5-mile oval in Joliet, and that is owned by NASCAR. Chicagoland previously hosted races for NASCAR's 3 National Series, Cup, Xfinity, and Trucks from 2001 to 2019, before the league decided to shift its date elsewhere. First, it was to Road America, then temporary to the street course NASCAR built in downtown Chicago around Grant Park. After a successful 3-year run for the Chicago street course, NASCAR announced earlier this month it would not race there next season with the hope of returning in 2027. The league also said in its statement that it will the article jumped up. In a statement that it will keep its Chicago-based office open. So again, lengthy article from the Daily Herald. We'll post it on our Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast Facebook page for your reading viewership. But Jake, what is old is new again, and it looks like fans are finally going to get their wish. It looks like NASCAR is going to go back to Chicagoland Speedway. What do you think?
Boo, Pocono twice a year.
We're only saying that because we're in PA.
Yeah. Why not test old grounds? See how it works out. I mean, I agree. I think it's awesome that they were trying to expand NASCAR to international waters, but no, I'll be interested. Haven't seen a race there in years, so
yeah. I mean,
why not? I mean, NASCAR has kind of starting to bring back these tracks that used to be raced at, so we won't know until next year when we watch it, but maybe it turned out to be a good race. Who knows?
So I'm going to ask people listening live to us right now. Feel free, Blunt Engine chat line wide open. What is everyone's appeal with Chicagoland? What is everyone's appeal with Chicagoland, right? We were racing there. We were racing on 1.5-mile ovals, cookie cutter tracks, pretty much for almost 2 decades. It felt like it was the same thing over and over again. Now, I get the argument is, well, look what Kansas looks like. Look what Las Vegas looks like. Okay, that's fine. But what if we go to Chicagoland and Chicagoland's kind of a bust? I mean, for me, I do think that Chicagoland always did produce a good race. I do, even in the previous generation car, right? Like, yeah, Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch in 2018. Alex Bowman won the last race there back in 2019. But two things. I do want them to keep the Chicago market. I do think that this is an easy transition considering the fact that NASCAR owns the track, unlike Road America and others in that area. But for me, I'm just like, okay, cool. Like we're back at Chicagoland. It doesn't bring spark. It doesn't bring like the pizzazz to me. We're hoping
Mm-hmm.
that it's Kansas 2.0.
Yeah.
And it may live up to be Kansas 2.0 because of the way that this car's built. I just I would like to see them test different tracks,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, like what is old is new again,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
No, I mean, I'm
Um,
excited. I mean, I'm looking forward to watching it again. I mean, it's not my favorite track, but it's another one of those, like you said, mile and a half ovals.
well, I totally agree with that. I mean, it's again, it's not my I mean, it's not my favorite track, but again, I don't want to load. For me, I don't want to load up the 1.5s again.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's where NASCAR killed themselves when they did the expansion in the 2000s. Everything was 2 mile, 1.5, right? Okay, that worked because you were trying to expand into the bigger market cities like Los Angeles and Chicago and all that type of stuff. It's just going to be tough for me to see that we were basically racing on the streets of Chicago for the last multiple years. And then we're going to go back into a track that, let's call it as is, we're hoping it's Kansas 2.0,
Mm-hmm.
but that's wishful thinking. Now, like I said, the races there in the previous generation car were good. They probably shouldn't have lost the date because of COVID. But at the same time, with the experience and the opportunities that NASCAR has, I'm like, I would have rather seen him race on Road America. I'm sorry. I would have
Yeah.
rather seen him on Road America. I think Road America is one of the most beautiful tracks in the circuit, in the country, really. I know the last race there wasn't that great, but at the same time, I would prefer to see them run on Road America. Give the fans in Wisconsin something, you know?
Yeah.
We do have someone checking in on our chat line, Jake. We got Tom. He's checking in. Let's show on the stream. He goes, would have liked to keep Mexico, but Chicagoland with newer car could be better. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the word around the street, right? Like
Yeah.
with this generational car, you probably think that you're probably hoping for Kansas 2.0. You're probably hoping for Las Vegas, somewhere in that time, somewhere in that type of racing. Again, going back to what I was saying, it wasn't terrible before we left there in the last generation car, but it wasn't exciting enough for me to be like, wow, I need this back. I need this back in the
Yeah.
worst way. But again, article this week was from Jordan Bianchi of The Athletic. And again, Mexico City losing its state. And again, it's probably going to be linked going back to Chicagoland. So, all right, cool. Let's get into Indy. Let's get into the Brickyard. Opening thoughts on the Brickyard, Jake.
I thought it was a phenomenal race. I enjoyed every minute of that race. I thought it was a great race. Um, Usually, like, well, what Larson went last year. It was 2019 was the last time we raced it when Harvick won, or 2020.
2020.
Yeah. So I mean, I thought it was a great race. I think it was better than last year.
Yeah, I will say this opening statement and opening thoughts here on the Broken Woodbury podcast about the Brickyard 400. Why the hell did NASCAR ever think going on the road course was a good idea? Like, I get trying something different to try to sell the fans, but I will say, over the last 2 years at the Brickyard, I mean, to me, the Brickyard was what the Brickyard has always been. I mean, it's been very fast racing. I mean, there's been passing, all that type of stuff. I mean, listen, you got to manage your car. That's what
Mm-hmm.
it comes down to. You got to manage tires, you got to manage your gas, you got to manage everything. And I think that's what fans want to see, plus passing, of course. But on top of it, like for an analytics guy, like I'm sitting there calculating fuel mileage the whole damn race. I'm
Yep.
sitting there, I was calculating on Sunday how Brad Keselowski could have went the rest of the distance without pitting. But at the same time, like I sit there and I look back on NASCAR and go, why in the God's creation did you think going on that Indy road course was a good idea?
Mm-hmm.
I
No,
mean,
I mean I like it because strategy. That whole
the
race
whole
is
thing.
strategy,
That's the whole thing.
and that's what I love about NASCAR strategy. When everybody's involved,
I agree.
you don't see cautions in Indy that often,
Not really. I mean,
and the strategy that these teams put together, some it works, some it doesn't. It's a gamble. That's every race is a gamble, but I feel like at Indy it's such a bigger strategy because it's not like, oh, we're 10 cars are gonna pit together. No, you're seeing guys pit by themselves and they're trying their own strategy. one lap after another. Oh, I'm going to do this. Well, I'm going to stay out one more lap. Fuel, tires. Like, it's just a phenomenal race to watch. And if you understand the whole strategy shit, it makes it even better. I was sitting there all Sunday. I'm looking at fuel. I'm watching the fuel gauge on the TV. I'm looking at laps, when the last time they pit, how they're running their car. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I'm in the car. Or put me as a crew chief or something. Like, I'm reading all the data.
I completely agree with you.
I was so into that race on Sunday, it wasn't even funny.
I didn't leave. I mean, I had to do something for my wife. I mean, God bless her soul. But at the same time, I was like, really? Like, right now? Come on. But at the same time, like you said, I mean, I'm a strategy guy. I'm always analytics, pro analytics. I think analytics have made a lot of sports very good. And in regards to stretching the fuel out in these vehicles is a science within itself. It is absolutely remarkable what some of these crews can do by packing fuel in that car. One of those drivers benefit from it. Another driver on Sunday did not. They mispacked the fuel. But like you said, I'm addicted to, and like even in the beginning parts of the race, right? You saw Austin Cindric, you saw Joey Logano, you kind of saw Josh Berry on a different strategy. They're like, well, we're not going to run in the front by doing the same nonsense. I think that's the beautiful thing about Indy. It's that it's not copy and paste. You can't copy and paste at Indy. You're going to have to go there because you realize that you're not going to be able to pass every single car, even though we had one driver almost do that. But at the same time, like at Indy, you can't copy and paste the leader strategy. You're just not going to advance in the field. You're just not. They're running too fast. They're running like it's remarkable. I mean, again, why did they go on the road course for 3 years? I get it. They're trying to sell out the track because they were afraid of attendance. And I heard the bullshit this past week. Oh, we need to be off the Brickyard because did you see the attendance on Sunday and all that type of stuff? Okay, folks, let's pause timeout right now. Cut the bullshit with the attendance, please. That Indianapolis Motor Speedway holds about 300,000 fans. 300,000 fans. The final attendance at the Brickyard 400 was 75K. Yeah, 75,000 people, folks. I mean, that would sell out almost nearly every NFL stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Every MLB stadium. I mean, every clearly the NBA and NHL too. There was a lot of fans at that race on Sunday. Yeah. It didn't show because you got to think too. Like back in May at the Indy 500, that is a marquee. It's not the Indy 500, folks. Exactly. It's just not. That racetrack was built for the Indy 500 in regards to fan attendance. But what NASCAR put on Sunday, in my personal opinion, at the Brickyard, was a phenomenal race. Again, Jake, like you said, we got amped up about the strategy. You can't copy and paste what the leader's doing if you're in the back of the pack. You're just not. You're a dead man sitting. I got to say this, and like I said, I really do hope to God that NASCAR doesn't listen to the fans on Facebook or the keyboard warriors. And I'm really going hard at them this week because of what we've watched or what we saw this past week. But at the same time, leave the Brickyard as the Brickyard, please. Do not try your nonsense Verizon 250 or whatever it was freaking called. Because to be honest with you, the Oval is a much better race. And man, when those cars do run Indy, it is absolutely a beautiful sight. It is beautiful. And they did. I mean, you saw them too, like, chopping and blocking or breaking the draft and all that type of stuff. We saw it with Bubba Wallace in the closing laps. Larson was right there. I mean, he was breaking the draft off Kyle Larson. Yep. That is something that they do in Indy. That is something completely that they do in the Indy series. Final stat line this week from the Brickyard 400. Bubba Wallace came away with the victory, his first victory of 2025. Kyle Larson finished second. Denny Hamlin finished third. Ryan Preece finished fourth. Great day for Preece, by the way. Brad Keselowski finished fifth. Todd Gilliland finished sixth. Ryan Blaney finished seventh. Christopher Bell finished eighth. Alex Bowman finished ninth. And Carson Hocevar finished 10th. So top 10 for Hocevar there. Your top 10 in stage one was Chase Briscoe, Bubba Wallace, William Byron, Tyler Reddick, Chris Buescher, Kyle Busch, Carson Hocevar, Kyle Larson, Austin Dillon, and AJ Allmendinger. Stage two top 10 was Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, William Byron, Brad Keselowski, Alex Bowman, Carson Hocevar, Joey Logano, Chris Buescher, and Bubba Wallace. Final laps led coming from the Brickyard 400 this week. Bubba Wallace, your race winner. He ended up leading 23. Kyle Larson led 19. Denny Hamlin led a lap. Ryan Preece led 12. Ryan Blaney led 14. Alex Bowman led 2. Justin Haley led 15. John Hunter Nemechek led 1. Then we had Cindric, who led 40. Chase Briscoe led 34. And that's all the laps that were led this week from drivers. So again, all final stat line courtesy of NASCAR.com. Jake, let's start off with the number one topic this week. All over Facebook, all over the media. Bubba Wallace.
Yeah.
And, I'm going to tell you this, man. When I first started this podcast, and when I've really, honestly, since we've been on air, we've talked about Bubba briefly, whether he had a good day or, tough stretch for Bubba Wallace. Broke the 100 race winless streak this past week at the Indy 500. To me, I think this was a coming of age victory for Bubba Wallace. I really do. Not just did he win this race, and I know Logano was on that off strategy. He ended up having a tire problem. We'll talk about him in a second. But when I look at what Bubba Wallace did in those closing laps, you're racing against probably the greatest of all time at this moment in Kyle Larson. Larson had better fuel. He had more fuel. I mean, you heard it on the last green light checker. Charleston Knight basically told him, he's like, we're going to have to pit. We're going to have to pit. Bubba stayed on the track and made it work. I mean, when we go to Indy all the time, we see guys like Paul Menard. They were talking about Paul Menard a lot on Sunday. We see drivers, again, going back to strategy, managing the gas, managing this, managing that. Bubba Wallace, to me, grew up in this race more than anything when I saw his win. We were just talking about basically chopping the draft. Larson had multiple runs on him.
Mm-hmm.
Bubba Wallace broke the draft on him multiple times. The other thing, too, is on the final green white checker, both green white checkers, Bubba started on the low line, Kyle Larson started on the high line. Nobody could make the high line work. The only one that could is the driver of the hat you're wearing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Bubba Wallace could have not done more of a picture-perfect textbook, in my opinion, end of the race strategy than he did on Sunday. And it's very difficult for a driver. First of all, the organization is an open charter, which is absolutely insane to me. I mean, granted, it's not like an open charter like New York Racing and all that type of stuff. They still have top-tier equipment. But the point is, back against the wall, the dude's on a winless streak. The fuel mileage is definitely going against him in this race. Oh, and by the way, you got to face the greatest of all time on a restart. You can't make it up. I mean, that was a coming-of-age victory, in my opinion, from Bubba Wallace.
No, I mean, I think it's like you said, it was perfect. He did everything perfect. And I go back to your beginning statement when people are bashing Bubba, and I'm not a Bubba fan. I'm not. I'll admit that. I don't root for him. I don't care for the 23 car, but such a humble win, though. Mm-hmm. The guy's not out there screaming in his camera, proved all you wrong, this, that, and the other. Like, he always knew that his back was against the wall. Yeah. And he raced every freaking weekend like that, and I respect him for that. And another thing that I respect him about is, like, it's like you said, to be able to be the best, you got to beat the best. And I give him a lot of props since I'm a Larson fan. And he was like, I beat the best in our generation right now on those last two restarts. And he outraced Larson 100%. It's like you said, Larson is probably the only one who knows how to run that outside line and perfect it. And he did do it perfected, and Bubba just outdid him. It is what it is. I mean, a phenomenal win. Yeah, am I upset the 5 car wasn't in victory lane? Yeah, of course. But Larson raced a good race. He was up there all day, and besides the beginning of the race, but hats off to Bubba. Great win for him. See you in the playoffs, man.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's what it comes down to, right? Like, and the one thing, like, after he won this race, there's been since the playoff bubble, has there been a driver that's been on the playoff bubble more than Bubba Wallace? And since he got the 23XI, no, there hasn't been. And, we always talk about points. Excuse me. We always talk about points in the playoffs, especially as we come down the stretch. And a lot of fans were wondering, well, 23 is in the playoffs right now. Is he going to be able to get in on points, or is he going to be able to, win himself into the playoffs? Well, he took care of that. I mean, he won the race. And as he said, I mean, it's not like he wrecked him. It's not like he wrecked Kyle Larson. He just had a
No.
better car, and he just outdrove him in the turn 1 and coming out of turn 2. And
He raced him perfectly.
Raced him perfectly.
Clean.
I mean, yeah. Listen, I mean, we saw a driver last year try to win himself into the playoffs by wrecking 2 drivers in the play or at Richmond in Austin Dillon. So, like I said, storybook victory for Bubba Wallace, to me, in my opinion. Like I said, couldn't have been more of a textbook win, in my opinion. When you look at NASCAR, and people are like, well, we want clean racing, we want clean passes and all that type of stuff. Well, 23 gave you everything in those final stages of that victory. He did. And that's got to be difficult for him too, right? You're on the playoff bubble. Your crew chief's telling you you might have to pit because we don't have enough fuel to make the end of this race, which he did, and he had enough to do burnouts and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But for me, like I said, I mean, in order to be the best, you got to beat the best, and that's what he did on Sunday at Indy. So let's talk Bubba Wallace, courtesy of NASCAR.com. Right now, his average finish is 18.7. He's led 136 laps, 6 DNFs on the season, 4 top 5s, 8 top 10s with the 1 win in 22 races. So 23 of Bubba Wallace will be in victory lane or in the playoffs this year in 2025. I was looking at some data too with him. Gateway in New Hampshire are probably going to give him problems. He doesn't really run at both tracks pretty well. But I do think that he's going to run Darlington pretty well too. Toyota usually usually have a field day down at Darlington. He was on the pole last year, led a good amount of laps in that race. Not saying he's going to win Darlington, but like I said, I do think that he might be a threat in that first round. And listen, I said this after Chase Elliott won. I say this after every driver wins. All it takes is just one victory, and all of a sudden your season can turn around.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, how many? I mean, could he win more races going into the playoffs? Maybe. Got Daytona, got Richmond. He runs pretty well out. Watkins Glen in Iowa, I'll probably chalk it up as
I
for
don't
him.
see him doing well this weekend.
But at the same time, I do think that there are tracks going as we head into the playoffs that I like Bubba Wallace at. So big win for the 23 team. Now going back to what we were saying with Joey Logano. So Logano in this race, completely off strategy, different strategy, right? Stayed out, pitted on unique time frames. Paul Wolfe had a good strategy going into the race. Joey Logano on the last green flag pit stops ended up having the lead. He had enough to go to distance. He had enough fuel, enough tires, all that type of stuff to go to distance. Going down the backstretch, ends up blowing his right rear tire. And that's how Bubba Wallace ended up getting the race lead. But at the same time, I mean, Logano, what could have been? I mean, if he ends up winning that race, I mean, we're talking about earlier statements about Indy. He wins that race. I mean, Jake, we're talking about like, whoa, this dude literally, like, Paul Wolfe wrote the whole entire playbook on how to win that race. Yeah. I was a little disappointed to see Logano not in it at the end. And like I said, of course, when it rains, it pours. And that's what happened to him in that race. Blows the tire, comes down pit road. All of a sudden, they lose power in the car. Ends up getting pushed. Pushed out of pit road. I believe he ended up. I think he DNF'd.
I don't think he finished.
Yeah, he was involved in one of the accidents, but unfortunately, his day was done. His day was done once they were pushing him down pit road.
Oh yeah,
I mean that was pretty much it. I mean, but again, I mean, it comes back down to strategy. And Logano in this race started 15th, didn't have the car to make it through the field. They're like, okay, well, let's go try to get clean air. Once we get clean air, what happens? Well, he was kind of running away with the race a little bit, and unfortunately, the tire did not prevail. In regards to Logano, though, I mean, it has been a roller coaster since his win at Texas. Absolute roller coaster. His stats since Texas. He won that race, so he locked himself in the playoffs. But he finished 9th at Kansas. Okay, pretty good day. 17th at Charlotte, non-factor. 4th at Nashville, but then 22nd and 21st at Michigan and Mexico City. 16th at Pocono. 36th at Atlanta. He was involved in one of that wrecks. 11th at the street course, 9th at Sonoma, 14th at Dover, 32nd at Indy. So it has been a rough
Yeah, it's
going
up
for
and
the
down.
22. I can never count this team out,
No.
especially after what we saw last year. But, I got to say this. I do think if you're a Logano fan, I don't know if he has enough to go win the championship this year. I just don't.
No, I don't. I mean, even going back to Sunday, I mean, I was a little thrown off with the whole Penske team strategy. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Blaney started in a bad way. He started like 24th, 23rd, 24th, or something like that. I mean, he
Yeah.
came up to the front. What did he finish? 7th, 8th?
Yeah, he finished
I mean,
7th.
he had a quiet day, I should say. But he also tried a strategy that didn't work. But he ended up finishing in top 10. Cindric was out front. That strategy didn't work. I did like when your boss owns that track. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
mean,
just wasn't impressed. I really thought that I was gonna like when I saw him out front. I'm like, this is textbook. I mean, this is Penske for you. But I don't know. I just really wasn't. I was a little disappointed in Penske's racing this weekend. I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean they were trying to go off strategy.
Yeah.
All three, all three plus Barry. They were trying to go off strategy. They weren't gonna. They were just not faster than the Toyotas. They just weren't. I mean, Briscoe really was fast in that first stage. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
23. Bubba was hanging around in the top 5 the whole day. But at the same time, I mean, they were like, well, again, going back to our earlier discussion, if you can't copy and paste, and you can't copy and paste Indy in that strategy throughout the whole garage. If you don't have the clean air, it's going to be very difficult for you to run through the field. It just is. And while I did like what I saw out of the Penske cars,
Yeah.
I liked the strategy. The problem is that it did not execute to their advantage, right? Logano, unfortunate circumstance there. Cindric as well. He ended up getting involved in a wreck.
Yeah.
So that strategy didn't work out for him. Let me just make sure I got that right. I'm sorry. Did Cindric? No, Cindric finished 15th. I'm sorry. Cindric finished 15th.
Oh,
Anyways.
I thought the same. I thought he got in that wreck too.
Yeah,
but was
I
wrong.
got him and Kyle Busch confused. I'm sorry for a second, folks. Like I said though, I like the Penske strategy, but at the same time, it's just you got to pack the fuel in the cars perfectly to execute it, or you have to have basically everything go right for you to happen. Analytically speaking, that's not going to happen, right? If you're
Yeah.
going off strategy, something's going to happen. Now, maybe maybe you do catch the caution at the right time. Like Brad tried to pull a strategy where it's like maybe we get the caution at the right time, everyone follows us down pit road, all of a sudden we come out with the lead. It doesn't work, and it didn't for some of these drivers. Like you said, though, I mean, Penske, I was a little disappointed to see what happened to him. I mean, Blaney was the highest Penske car finisher in 7th. He was kind of on that Brad Keselowski strategy a little bit. And going back to Brad, I mean, Brad ended up having that interesting strategy as well. When he pitted, he came his last pit stop. He went in with the lead. He came out 11th, ends up finishing this race in 5th. Now, granted, cautions breed cautions, and one of those, you able to capture a couple positions, you go from there. But yeah, I mean, a little disappointed is what I saw this weekend out of Penske. But again, though, our whole show could be completely different if Joey Logano does not blow that right rear tire on the back stretch.
Yeah.
The other next topic up, Jake, I want to talk about is Denny Hamlin. Man, what could have been for the 11 this weekend? What could have been for the 11?
Yeah, I mean, he could have.
That
He almost ran through the whole field. Started 39th.
well, even like on his qualifying lap. I mean, he went into turns 1 and 2. I mean, he was like light years ahead of everyone on the scoring pylon. Ends up wrecking and qualifying. Ends up to a hard hit into the wall, by the way.
Yeah, went on a backup car.
Yeah, goes out onto the track with a backup car, starts 39th in this race, ends up finishing 3rd. And I thought he would be a massive player in this from the start before he ended up wrecking. But man, oh man, like Denny Hamlin he's interesting. Denny Hamlin's an interesting driver to me. The reason why is because he is going to be 45 this year. And that's when we start seeing NASCAR drivers kind of tail off into the back end of their career. This dude legitimately does not go away.
He gets
And
better by the year.
he gets better. Absolutely gets better. I mean, yes, he's got 4 wins this season so far. But every single week when you see the 11 or you see Denny Hamlin on track, and it's like no wonder Joe Gibbs gave him the contract extension last weekend. I mean, he's not slowing down with age, where it's like we've seen other drivers in the past, they have slowed down with age. Denny, in the back end of his career, got better. I get it. Chris Gabehart definitely had a lot to do with that. But before the season even started, I literally said this is going to be a down year for Denny Hamlin. I don't like him and Chris Gale together as crew chief driver combination. I don't. Because I've never seen Chris Gale actually work with a veteran driver. It's always been with Eric Jones, Ty Gibbs. It's always been with younger drivers. And I was like, this is probably not the crew chief that I want Denny Hamlin to have at the going into his year 4, his age 44 season. I wish that he had a younger analytical guy to get him over the hump. But whatever has happened over at the 11 team, the two of them have made it work. And like I said, on Sunday, it's a reflection of what this driver has become in the older age of his driving experience.
Yeah, no, I mean, not a fan of him at all, but you can't put aside excellence. The guy's an incredible race car driver. I mean, like I said, it's just I feel like he's gotten better over the years, and I couldn't tell you the last time I think that Denny Hamlin has been this good. And this is a track that he's not usually a dominant racer in.
Mm-hmm.
Not usually like worried about him or he's a threat, but proved me wrong. Proved me wrong on Sunday for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think he proved a lot of people wrong when, again, we were talking about passing in this race. Like a lot of these drivers in the field couldn't pass for the longest time. Denny, as the race went on, was able to get through the field. Now, granted, pit strategy kind of helped him out and all that type of stuff, but the point is that you starting 39th at the Brickyard usually equates you to, I mean, if you get to 25th to 20th, that's a really good day. That's a plus 19 point or position net gain. Denny took it even a step further and was like, screw it, I'm going to go for the win. And he was in contention for the win at the end of that race due to the green-white checker.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, yeah, I get it. The Darlington win, he kind of got lucky there because of Blaney and all that type of stuff. Michigan fuel mileage race got, people can say he got lucky and all that. But Martinsville was a true win. Dover was a true win. I mean, Denny Hamlin is going to be a threat for this championship. And again, we're going into the summer stretch. We're getting close to the playoffs. We're going to start seeing drivers. What driver's going to start rising to the occasion, right? We always start seeing drivers in this part of the season. What driver's going to start rising to the occasion? We were talking about Chase Elliott a little bit last week and the week before. Denny Hamlin might be that driver that we could look at and go, oh shit, okay, we were wondering where the 11 was for a while, but no, the 11's been doing it all summer long. This might be the driver that we're looking at going back into the championship four. But how did the 11 make the championship four? Well, it's that stretch, right? It's that summer stretch. We ended up collecting top fives, we collected wins. We're going into the playoffs hot. Again, we only had one restrictor plate race this year in the playoffs, and that's Talladega. Last year we had 2 with Atlanta. So that could have been a complete curveball. But this year, it's like, God, I mean, if there's any year that Denny Hamlin can get it done, it has to be this year. It just has to be. I know he will definitely love that. I mean, then nobody will complain about the championships, right?
No, you can't complain if the guy wins.
So, like I was saying, talk about Denny Hamlin in this like hot stretch, right? So since Charlotte, the Coke 600, he finished 16th that night. He finished 3rd at Nashville, 1st in Michigan, missed the race at Mexico City because of the birth of his child, Finished 2nd at Pocono, which I would have been obnoxious if he won. 31st at Atlanta, where he wrecked, but he finished 4th at the street course, 20th at Sonoma, finished 1st at Dover, and finished 3rd at Indy. Like I said, we're starting to see the numbers start trending in the correct direction with the 11 team. His season has not been bad, by the way. It really hasn't been. He's had some clunkers at Kansas, at Texas, at Talladega, he finished 21st. But so far this season, through 21 races, Denny Hamlin has a 12.5 average finish, according to NASCAR.com. He's led 555 laps, 3 DNFs, 11 top 5s, 12 top 10s, and he's got the 4 wins. Like I said, we're coming into that stretch now where it's like The 11 is starting to get hot, maybe hot at the right time. All right. Final topic coming out of the Brickyard 400. And I know a lot of people on this station know how much I adore Ross Chastain, right? The Watermelon Man. He won at Charlotte. That was fantastic. Glorious. Loved it. All that type of stuff.
That's all the Ross Chastain highlights for the night.
Pretty much. While we were just talking about how hot Denny Hamlin has been getting over the summer, let's talk about a guy who's been getting ice cold, like legitimately ice cold, and might need like an adrenaline wake up call and an adrenaline shock. Because Ross Chastain, since his win at Charlotte, he's only gotten 2 top 10 since that race. So 6 at Michigan and a 10th at the street course. Since then, he's had 4 finishes of 25th or less. He finished 26th at Pocono, 33rd at Atlanta, 33rd at Dover, 39th at Indy. He finished 24th at Sonoma. And then he finished 11th and 16th at Nashville and Mexico City. Ross Chastain right now, folks, is on a streak where after Charlotte, I never thought it would come to this. I never thought it would come to this, that going, oh my God, what the hell is wrong with the one car?
I mean, and the thing is, it comes down to, man, if like more people who haven't won a race wins a race, Ross might not be seeing the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, the only saving grace that we have, and I'm pulling up the NASCAR standings right now. The only drivers right now that don't have a win, we have 4 races left. So Reddick doesn't have a win, he's in the playoffs. Bowman doesn't have a win, he's in the playoffs. Buescher doesn't have a win, he's in the playoffs at the moment. I mean, I guess going to your theory, I mean, Barry would be the first one cut if we got 4
that's true.
If we got 4 brand new winners, Barry would be the first one at the cut line. So Chastain for now should be safe for a playoff berth. But if you're looking at it as a Trackhouse perspective, this driver is your best opportunity to win a championship.
Mm-hmm.
And he has been ice cold, absolutely ice cold. If this streak continues going, he may be knocked out of the first round of the playoffs.
That's a high likelihood.
High likelihood. I mean, Darlington, I know that people get excited about him at Darlington. I mean, he's been good. He hasn't been elite at Darlington. I think he had like 2 showings where it was like, oh my God, Ross Chastain's really good at Darlington. And we've brought that perspective and that light at the tunnel going, yes, all of a sudden when we think of Darlington, we think of Ross Chastain. But at the same time, it's not like he's won a race at Darlington. He's had a couple good runs at Darlington. 2023 is the race I'm thinking of, where he wrecked, and him and Larson ended up wrecking at the end of it. I mean, 2022, he was leading a bunch of laps, ended up wrecking on the backstretch. But at the same time, like, Gateway is not a good Ross Chastain track. The biggest highlight of Ross Chastain's career at Gateway is pretty much him pissing Denny Hamlin and Chase Elliott off in 2022. New Hampshire, he's hit or miss. I mean, I guess if you look at it as a Chastain perspective, if you're a fan of him, you got to look at it and go, maybe we can escape the first round of the playoffs, and then maybe we get into the second round and like Kansas is our go-to opportunity. And then if we make it through the round of 12, then we go to Vegas. But the thing about Chastain is when you're driving this cold, you just need to find a way to get a top 10.
Yeah.
And last year at Iowa, we did not see that car do anything at Iowa. Watkins Glen, he qualified on the pole. He ran pretty well there. Daytona could be a good opportunity for him. Richmond, again, another hit or miss track for him. You just need to get top 10s.
Yeah.
At this point, you just need top 5s, top 10s. That's how you break this cold streak. But like I said, after Charlotte, folks, I did not personally believe that Ross Chastain would be this cold. I didn't. I thought, again, talk about like Chase Elliott, talk about other drivers. When they won that race, it's like, okay, you know, how many more can they get? That's what I was doing after Charlotte with you. How many more can Ross Chastain get?
And just fell off.
He can't even get a top 10 right now. He
No.
just can't get a top 10. This past week, like I said, he ended up wrecking. McDowell ended up spinning him out, ended up wrecking. He was first caution of the race. I know last year he did not run well at the Brickyard. I didn't expect anything from the Brickyard, but there was a couple tracks that I was really disappointed at with Ross Chastain. Atlanta was definitely one of them. He got caught up in the big one. Road courses, yes, it's tough because he has the road course win at the Circuit City of America. But at the same time, like Sonoma, I didn't expect much on the road courses, but Dover, I expected something from him. I expected some life from him.
Yeah.
And I didn't see it. Jake, I'm nervous for the one team. I'm really nervous about the one team. Like I said,
if I was a fan, I'd be nervous.
Yeah, we started talking about drivers that were getting hot at the right time. Well, Chastain's getting cold at the right time. So, again, I'm interested. He's definitely going to be a driver that I'm going to circle with the last 4 races of the regular season going into the playoffs. But yeah, I mean, I got to see some life out of him. I got to see something. Give me old school Ross Chastain. Give me Ross Chastain where it's like, oh shit, there's Ross Chastain again.
Yep.
Okay. Final thoughts from the Brickyard, Jake. Go.
No, I mean, I'm happy for Bubba. I think it was a great win. I think all in all, it was a clean, awesome race. The strategy was what I was big into. I mean, I kind of got my eyes off the 5 car because I was just watching all these strategies and I thought it was phenomenal. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy the Brickyard's back. It's 2 years in a row. We've had a pretty good race, so we'll see what happens. I mean, good luck to Bubba. I'm happy for the 23XI team that with a quote unquote open charter to have a car in the playoffs. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my final wrap up from the Brickyard, like you said, and you said it best. Open charter. Open charter ended up winning this race. Yes, we've seen it in the past in NASCAR. Haley ended up winning Daytona back in 2019 as an open charter. It doesn't really come around. And I get that this is a different exception because it is 23XI. They have top tier equipment. They had a driver in the Final Four last year. But at the same time, God, if NASCAR did not want any team to win, this was the team that they did not want to see in victory lane. They did not want to see this team in victory lane whatsoever. And all in all, too, I mean, talk about another open team real quick. Todd Gilliland finished in the top 10 with Front Row Motorsports. That's another team that's in this lawsuit right now with 23XI.
Yep.
So a couple good days from these quote unquote open charter programs. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I always love when big winless streaks get snapped because it keeps coming up. It's like, when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? Well, it finally happened with the 23 team. Final point on the track, though. Yes, please, please, please do not listen to Keyboard Warriors on Facebook or anything and leave the Brickyard as an oval, please. Just leave it as an oval. Do not go back to a road course. I don't give a shit about the road course. I just want the oval because, again, I think it's a phenomenal race due to strategy. All because of the strategies that this track provides. So, current standings, coming out of the Brickyard, courtesy of NASCAR.com. Chase Elliott is still your points leader. He is actually now +4 over William Byron. Byron's second. Larson is third. Denny Hamlin's fourth. Christopher Bell's fifth. Tyler Reddick is 6th. Ryan Blaney 7th. Chase Briscoe is 8th. Alex Bowman's 9th. Chris Buescher is 10th. Bubba Wallace is 11th currently. Joey Logano is 12th. Ross Chastain's 13th. Ryan Preece is 14th. Kyle Busch is 15th. And Ty Gibbs is 16th. So if we went into the playoff standings, Preece, Busch, Gibbs out. Now they are currently the 3 cars below the cut line because Austin Cindric, Josh Berry, and Shane Van Gisbergen would be in the playoffs as we speak. Excuse me. It's very difficult to look at these standings every single week. And I know we talked about last week with Shane Van Gisbergen. Van Gisbergen right now is 27th in the points.
Yeah, it's a joke.
With 3 wins, and he's going to be in the playoffs. I mean, it's
can't make the playoffs unless you're 20th or better in the points.
That's what they got to do. That's what they got to do. So with all that being said, there are still some really good drivers before we get to Iowa. There are some good drivers below the cut. Yeah, Preece, Busch, Gibbs, Allmendinger, McDowell, Nemechek, Eric Jones, Brad Keselowski, they're all below the cut line. Do you see any of those drivers making it into the playoffs?
The only, I mean, if Brad keeps racing the way that he's been racing recently, maybe. But I've been a Kyle Busch fan recently. I want to see him in the playoffs because those last tracks that they race, there's a handful that he's pretty good at. So do I think it's going to happen? No.
Yeah.
But I would. That's the one guy that I'm kind of rooting for. But Ryan Preece is probably the only one that can make it in.
Yeah, I mean, so going back to your Brad point, and I root for Brad Keselowski. I do. I think that he could have had it made with Penske, called it a career, called it a day. He decided to go the ownership route, went to RFK Racing. So I root for Brad. The problem with Brad, though, is that Brad had such a terrible start to the season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he did not get his first top 10, I think, until Charlotte. Now, granted, he has overcome being 30th or worse in the points to now sitting in 24th. But the thing with me with Brad is that, like, it's the scary part is a lot of this is all going to come down to Daytona. Because I think the next 3 weeks are pretty much the script, in my opinion, the next 3 weeks are going to be written. We already know probably who's going to, or we know the handful of drivers who are going to win the next 3 weeks. Iowa, Watkins Glen, Richmond. We all know kind of the 5 drivers that are really good at those tracks, and those are going to be the drivers in the hunt. They're the drivers that are going to take care of business, and we're going to call it a day, right? It's all going to come down to Daytona.
Yeah.
And when we talk about, as we said earlier in the show, about scheduling and all that type of stuff, everyone wants to see Daytona back at the 4th of July weekend. NASCAR for damn sure does not want that Daytona back at the 4th of July, because think about all the drama that we're just talking about just within the last 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's going to come back down to Daytona.
Yep.
And
that's what you got to make it as. I mean, it's a great track to bring it down to.
Absolutely. And it's like I said, I mean, I look at all these drivers below the cut line and I'm like, shit. I mean, you got, like I said, you got Preece, you got Kyle Busch, you got Ty Gibbs, you got AJ Allmendinger, Michael McDowell, John Hunter Nemechek, Eric Jones, Carson Hocevar, Brad Keselowski, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is another name that we don't talk about much, but I mean, going down to Daytona, we could be talking about him. Todd Gilliland is a guy who's pretty good on super speedways. Austin Dillon has won at Daytona at the end of the regular season. I mean, Daniel Suarez has come up very close. I mean, there's a lot of drivers when we go into Daytona that I'm sitting there going in my head. They're like, if you're below the cut line going into Daytona, like I think Chase Elliott said it back in 2023. He's like, it's playing Russian roulette.
Mm-hmm.
It's playing Russian roulette. And he's 100% right. I just named probably 7 drivers in the last multiple seconds that could go down to Daytona and win that race. Yeah. Oh, and I'm not even talking about the drivers that are in the playoffs. I mean, drivers right now that are in the playoffs. I mean, Chris Buescher doesn't have a win. Buescher has won at Daytona at the end of the regular season. So for me, I'm like, below the cut line, I mean, the next 3 races, I don't realistically see anybody below the cut line winning a race and making it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Now, when we get to Daytona, that story completely changes.
Yeah.
We were just talking about Brad.
It's a gamble.
It is a gamble. To go back to your point, though, a driver that's below the cut that could probably make the playoffs, the one that I like the most that could make it into the playoffs below the cut is probably Ryan Preece. I think Preece has been extremely consistent all season.
Yep.
And it's a damn shame because if he misses the playoffs, I mean, it does suck because right now he's currently 14th in the points. This is probably his best season he's ever had in his career. But I do think that Preece, and I could see Preece maybe pulling off a win within the next 3 weeks as like an upset win. I could definitely see him pulling off the win at Daytona.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to us live, what driver in your mind right now that is below the cut line do you think could make the playoffs?
I mean, he raced great. He had a phenomenal qualifying when it came to the 500.
Yeah.
In the first race of the year, he had a phenomenal qualifying. He was fast as shit.
Yeah. I got Full Throttle Media. They checked in. Thanks again for checking in, Full Throttle. He said Kyle fucking Busch gonna walk off at Daytona.
I love to hear it.
I mean, let's call it as is. I mean, he almost pulled it off in almost pulled it off in 2024. God, I mean, you know how great of a win would that be? I mean, we were just talking about Bubba Wallace's whole show. I mean, imagine that.
Dude, I would be thrilled.
That'd be an incredible victory.
Because now you got Kyle Busch in the freaking playoffs.
Oh man, nothing better than Kyle Busch in the playoffs. I mean, now
bring back the beating and banging, baby.
I don't trust Richard Childress Racing, but
no,
that's for another day.
Maybe
no, you know what?
Maybe they realize like, oh shit, we should probably put our money into the guy who can actually win a race or a championship.
You know what we'll end up getting? We'll get stupid Austin Dillon win Daytona.
Yeah, I hope somebody wrecks him for the first race of the first round.
We'll get Austin Dillon to win Daytona, and then the whole dream of Kyle Busch being Kyle Busch won't be in the plus. We got Austin Dillon, but
Kyle Busch will freaking hang the helmet up and be like, "I'm done with this fucking shithole."
All right, Jake, that's gonna take us to the checker flag tonight on the Brickyard. Before we close out tonight's segment, let's give some Iowa picks real quick.
Tyler Reddick.
Ooh, Tyler Reddick.
Tyler Reddick, and if not, hate to say it, man, but if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. Kyle Larson, he's good there.
So there's only been one race, so there's some pretty good picks. I mean, Reddick. I mean, now that I feel like the hot seat's on him, or not the hot seat, but I feel
now
like,
that Bubba won.
Yeah, I feel like the the expectations even higher now for him to win the race. Now I could also see him winning, making the playoffs on points, and then coming to Darlington and just completely smoking that track. I really could, and that might be more realistic to me. But in regards to picks this week, Blaney won this race last year.
Yeah.
He kind of walked it off. Those closing laps were really.
Really dominating.
Really good. I mean, Chase Elliott finished second with Byron finishing third. It's tough when we only race at a track once and we don't have enough data on it. But
yeah, I mean, I pick Kyle Larson because he's good. I mean, he raced an all right race.
He's going to adjust.
Yeah,
he's going to adjust.
And it's a short track. He likes them. He likes going there.
Yeah, fast track, all that type of stuff. He's going to adjust. I mean, so my picks this week, I'm going to go. I've been really high on Chase Elliott lately. I'm going to go with Chase Elliott. I think Chase Elliott finished there second last year. Again, Ryan Blaney outran him at the end, but I that 9 car actually has legit speed if he qualifies well. Alan Gustafson. But I like Chase Elliott this week.
I think it's a good track for Hendrick. Period.
Yeah,
I think Bowman can race good there too. He can. I think it's a good Hendrick track, but
yeah, Bowman's a driver I could sit there and look at and go, you know what, this could be a good week for Alex Bowman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what, I'll do that. I'll do the pair of Hendrick Motorsports. I'll do Chase Elliott and I'll do Alex Bowman.
I like that. I love them.
Chase Elliott's got a lot of speed lately. I know last week the result didn't reflect how good he's been lately. Alex Bowman honestly has been really good over the last several weeks. Excuse me. I do believe that Alex Bowman may end up. This might be like one of those tracks that we look back and go, "How the hell did Alex Bowman win this race?" Like I feel like every win that Alex Bowman has, we're always looking back on it, going, "Alex Bowman won this race." Like Martinsville, the one year he ended up winning. I mean, granted, that was a very entertaining post-race celebration, but Vegas in 2022, like there's many Chicago Street Courser. It's like, where the hell did the 48 come from? I feel like this is that week where we're like, where the hell did the 48 come from?
Yeah.
So,
dude, I would love to see all 400 cars in the playoffs.
Yeah. So I'll go with both Hendrick teammates. I'll go with Chase Elliott and I'll go with Alex Bowman. I mean, now granted, that means that William Byron's going to run away with this, folks, and same or Joey Logano. So. Okay. Jake, Iowa this week. By the way, folks, we are back with NBC. So NBC and USA have the remaining stretch of races on their television networks. I think it's it's 14 races left. Yeah. 14 races left and all on NBC. So, all right. That's going to take us to the checker flag on tonight's episode. So with all that being said, first of all, appreciate everyone joining in on our live stream on Facebook and YouTube. Appreciate all the love and support. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. Again, don't be an asshole. Do not criticize Bubba Wallace because he's black.
Mhm.
It's that easy. If you're going to Iowa this week, have fun, be safe. 3:40 green flag drop too on Eastern time. So, with all that being said, Jake, it's been an absolute pleasure tonight.
Yeah, man.
Absolute pleasure. And again, if you love what you're hearing, follow us on YouTube, Facebook at the Broken Wheelbarrow Podcast, both of them, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. And eventually, I swear to God, I will be posting all these episodes on Spotify. I just haven't gotten around to it. I promise. Again, enjoy your race weekend wherever you're watching, or if you're going to the race. Jake will talk next week.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, folks, next week's show, you don't want to miss. We have a special guest coming up.
Yes.
And we are very excited to have that special guest with us next week. So, with all that being said, Jake, have a wonderful night. Stay blessed, audience, and we'll chat next week. Good
Yep,
night.
see you next week.